Hello, cinema or sofa, big stream or big screen, where are you going to spend your hard-earned money? That is a question that we have worried ourselves with on this podcast, and a question that we hope to answer for you in this particular week. My name is Tosin, and I am based up in the United Kingdom, in the middle of the country, in a place called Bromsgrove near Birmingham. And joining me, as always, is just one person this week, and that is our London correspondent, Holly Nessling. How are you doing, Holly?
Very well, thank you, Tosin. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I am in the middle of the first ever, what's the word called? Summer holidays as a parent, where the kids are home and you have 6 weeks and you got to figure out what you're going to do with them, which will explain my film choice this week because because in the cinema there was a choice of watching two movies featuring dinosaurs. One I really wanted to, one I really didn't want to, but guess which one I ended up having to go see. I mean, if if you listen to this, you've seen the title of the episode, you know. But how about you? How have things been going? How has cinema watching been going?
I'm afraid the cinema has not been a success this week. It has been a busy week that has not included cinema. But yesterday, I had the delight of watching Chum on Amazon Prime, for which I used £4.49 worth of Amex.
Oh God. There is a world in which I'm just thinking that all of a sudden every week going on from now on, what we're going to have coming from, because to explain what we do on this show, we go and we watch things in cinema and we watch things at home on different various streaming platforms. We rate them out of 5, put them up against each other, see where your money has been better spent. And we also say that if you're watching a TV show, you have to watch the entire season before you bring it to come up against a film that you've seen in the cinema. And I have this sneaking suspicion that for the next couple of weeks, we're just gonna get terrible shark movies from you, Holly. That you're just gonna live. And the fact that you sent me a link to somebody on Instagram who had just sort of given you every terrible shark movie there is. It tells me where your head has been this week. It tells me your head has been this week. And because we have a rule as well that we try and put one thing up against one thing, and there's no Sean this week, there's no Sharon this week, which means that we're going to have to talk about your terrible shark movie.
Yes, we are. And I'm so pleased.
I have a feeling that you're actually kind of making sure that Sean and Sharon can't make it, so you can be like, oh, by the way, guess what terrible shark movie I watched this week?
No, to be fair, Sharon would also revel in terrible shark movie with me.
She would, yes. Sharon would revel in the terrible shark movies. Sean would do the reverse, because we've been getting all those comments on YouTube that have been asking why the girls look so bored when the boys are banging on about something. When it gets to terrible shark movies, Sean does the reverse.
Nobody's been asking why you guys look bored at terrible shark movies, though. I mean, do people not care?
I've been wondering about that, and part of that is making me wondering maybe because it's usually on the shorts, and it might just be that we haven't put up any shorts of you guys talking. No, we have. We've definitely put up shorts of you guys talking about terrible shark movies. Yeah, we must have done, because I've got to be honest with you. Now I've gotten this whole thing where I've got an AI that essentially goes through and has a look and says, you might want to put this clip up, you might want to put this clip up of stuff that we've already recorded. And it says this might be some good clips. So beforehand, I had to listen to the whole podcast again and try and pick out what I thought were interesting bits. And then I was really, really worried that I was just having a me bias, and I was I would say something, I would be like, oh yeah, that's good, put that in. Oh yeah, that's good. That's going to be a reel on Instagram. And then I would ignore what you guys said. So, but now I think it's a bit more even. There's stuff that you say, so I think that we have done that. But yeah, nobody has complained that the guys look bored when the women are talking. Although people have complained that the women look bored when the guys are talking.
Which oddly is also not true.
Well, I mean, if you cherry pick the stills, because the stills that we have seen, it does look like that. Yeah, it does look like it. It does look like Sean and I are just banging on and totally ignoring the fact that there's women in the room. But anyway, enough of that, and enough about enough about the intricacies. So you haven't seen anything in cinemas this week?
No.
And the big dinosaur movie that I got to see in the cinema this week was not, alas, The End of Oak Street. It was Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. That was the film I got to see in the cinemas this week. Can you tell that I am a parent in the middle of summer holidays And my wife is on nights, which means that I couldn't go at night and watch the film I wanted to watch. So I had to take the kids to go watch this. I did consider taking them to see something else that was a 12A, but I think in the end I couldn't. I think I actually considered taking them to see End of Oak Street because it's 12A, but then I thought, no, I can't swing it. But anyway, so going up against Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, what are you're bringing? What you've already said, Chum.
Chum.
Yeah.
It's well.
That I mean, okay, okay. At least tell me that this was something that you and Jen watched together.
I watched this one by myself.
Come on, Holly.
I know. She was on a plane flying over to the UK though, so I took one for the team. And
Okay, so
I had something new to talk about. I was like, well, I didn't think I wanted to see this.
okay, all right. Just so anybody doesn't know, we'll explain who Cayman Jen is. So Holly has a friend who is in the Caymans. From what I can understand, manages a resort in the Caymans.
She does excellently.
She manages a resort in the Caymans. And so to keep in touch, what they do is that once a week, or usually on a weekend, they get together and at the same time they watch a terrible movie. And the fact that you've watched I think is okay. There's a couple of things going on here. I totally have a prejudice, and I assume that because it's you who watched a film called Chum, it is a terrible shark movie. The fact that you had to pay for it on Prime Video makes me think it is a terrible shark movie, because if you have to pay for it, and it's not already on there, and especially because Amazon have a wealth of, once you have an Amazon Prime membership, they have a wealth of films that are free to air for Prime members. And the fact they had to go and pay for this one does not fill me with great hope. But anyway,
I think we have to caveat that paying meant using Amex points. So it wasn't like I'd given them money for it. I've just could have done something else with £4.49 worth of Amazon points.
Yeah, well, you paid somebody for something. But
yeah, I've paid many people for many things.
You paid something for something. It's still your money. It's still your money. All right, cool. So, but let's start before I get on there and go into why Holly, why, and also before I start going starts trying to figure out whether Cayman Jen can get us a chance where we record this podcast from her resort.
Definitely, maybe she is also at present in the UK.
Yeah, so I've got a slide deck. I've got a PowerPoint presentation. I could make a business case for why it would help her resort for us to record this very listened to podcast from her resort. I
reckon we can certainly try to persuade her to carve out some time in her frankly very, very busy days to talk to us.
To talk to us about terrible films and to actually sort of comp our tickets so that we can get out there. But anyway, let's kick off with cinema as is a one, and let's talk about, yes, we're talking Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. Now, my kids have gotten into Paw Patrol, into the TV thing, because we got Paramount Plus now, and they're like, Paw Patrol, and it's on there, it's on Netflix, and Paw Patrol is one of these properties that has essentially franchises. That's essentially what it is. It's one of these franchises that I was aware of it, but I wasn't really aware of it. I didn't really know what the heck it was all about. I didn't really know what Paw Patrol was, or who was that, or I knew there were dogs who drive cars, and that's about it. And then my kids started getting into it, and then all of a sudden, sorry, Holly, yes?
There's a Holly in it as well. I think it's
There's a Holly?
I think it's the cat is called Holly.
Yeah, but the good cats, because usually most of the cats. Okay, now this is one of those things that makes me go, oh my god, what has my life become? Most of the cats are owned by Maya Humdinger, and Maya Humdinger is. Yes, I know, this is my life. And Maya Humdinger is the bad guy. Maya Humdinger is the sort of like bad politician who is always up to some nefarious scheme. This film is no different. And all the cats are always helping him. So is Holly one of Maya Humdinger's cats?
That I do not know. I've never actually watched Paw Patrol. I've just been updated on it by many wonderful small children.
All right, because if Holly is one of Maya Humdinger's cats, you might want to tell her to keep your name out of her mouth.
Yeah,
it's like
I shall.
So yes. So okay. So And if you've seen one Paw Patrol movie, you've seen them all. If you've seen one Paw Patrol episode, you've seen them all. So Paw Patrol are essentially, imagine if you had the fire and rescue services, but they were all dogs. That's what Paw Patrol is. And you have this guy called Ryder, this kid called Ryder, who's in charge of all these dogs. And then every episode, oh my God, Ryder, oh, the beach is on fire. And he goes, quick, let's go, chase, rubble, blah, 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 sky. And they get into the various vehicles, they drive down there, they avert the danger, they move on. And this film kicks off with essentially, it kicks off with a mini episode of Paw Patrol where there is some family on a yacht out somewhere where the father is it's undeniably, this father is voiced by Snoop Dogg. Which tells me that I'm not the only one with kids on summer holidays who needs to find a way. It tells me that, yeah, he is in that period of life as well. So this father is obviously voiced by Snoop Dogg. The mother is voiced by, and I had to wait until the end to figure this out, but it's voiced by Paris Hilton. And they and I've got to be honest with you, Holly, this film could be seen as, anti-cat propaganda, because they are in a yacht which ends up getting burnt down by a cat. And so they have to call the Paw Patrol in, and the Paw Patrol come and save them and everything like that. Snoop says, oh, bye guys, and all that kind of stuff. And then they end up in this fog. And then they end up getting grounded on an island that doesn't exist, that they haven't seen on any of their maps. They get onto this island. As they're going around, all of a sudden a Spinosaurus shows up, and this is an island. Essentially they find Jurassic Park. They find Isla Nublar from the Jurassic Park movies, and is this island that has dinosaurs everywhere. And so and to begin with, I thought, okay, cool. Maybe they're doing something like, End of Oak Street, or maybe this came from the same array, or maybe they've been transported back in time. No. This is just a random island that happens to have dinosaurs on it. So the TV cameras arrive, everything like that. Maya Humdinger gets let out of jail with his cats, and Maya Humdinger decides, I'm going to turn over a new leaf, until he sees that there is a massive diamond deposit on this island, and he decides to go and get it. The fact that this diamond deposit is on the side of an active volcano doesn't seem to put him off, and also kind of tells you where this film is going. Now, I fell asleep in this film, but it made no difference whatsoever because I fell asleep for an indeterminate amount of time, but I could still follow the story. I could figure, oh, this is what's happening, and blah, 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 blah. So this is the third theatrical Paw Patrol movie that I believe. And there seems to be this thing where every single Paw Patrol movie, they end up adding another dog to the official Paw Patrol roster, which maybe because they want to sell toys, I couldn't say, but they're very effective at doing that. And this film is exactly what you think it would be. The dinosaurs are there. People come up, people want to, there's going to be some peril to the dinosaurs, which does seem to come out of a Jurassic Park, or more specifically a Jurassic World movie. There's some stupid decisions that are being made that you're kind of like, they're like, oh, everybody, let's go over there. We will be safe there. And even as you're watching, you're going like, why the hell do you think you would be safe there? There's no reason but the kids are lapping it up, and my daughters are watching it, and they're like, oh. And then, like, also, I even had a daddy, I want to go home because, oh no, I can't believe it, all the pups are in danger. And they were acting like it was like the end of Toy Story 3, and like this was like the worst thing that they'd seen. And they're being really, really happy when, obviously, inevitably, the day is saved by one pup who, at the beginning of the film, has some doubts about himself, but through the points of the film, gets to realize that, you know what, my flaws were my assets all along. Roll credits. And it's like, and I mean, it's there is a place for these films. Are they good? I would say no, but then again, I feel like, well, it's hard because I look at it and I go, are they good? I'm like, well, no, but they're for kids. But at the same time, to highlight the problem I'm having here, a friend of mine was asking me today, I want to take my kids to the cinema. I'm thinking about Toy Story 5 or Paw Patrol. Which one should I take them to? And I'm like, I went to see Toy Story 5 with my kids. There was stuff in there for me. There was stuff in there for the kids. They had the same effect that they had to the Paw Patrol movie. But Toy Story 5 is a good film. Paw Patrol is something that kids like. And so I'm just yeah, I find the whole thing. Is it a good film? I don't know. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 because if you're a parent who is a bit tired and wants to go into a place and have your kids sit down on your lap, watch something, be transfixed for an hour and a half, thankfully something I'll stay is welcome while you get some much needed sleep. Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, would totally work for you, and so for that, I thank it. But if I was trying to be critical about this, I don't think being critical about this is the point. So that's it. 3 out of 5 for Paw Patrol, the Dino movie.
Well done, Paw Patrol, the Dino movie.
Yes. Any questions? No. Good. Let's move on.
How many Paw Patrol movies are there? I know there are a million episodes.
Yeah, so Paw Patrol movies. There is theatrically released Paw Patrol movies. And that I think there are 3. There was Paw Patrol the movie, Paw Patrol the big movie, and now Paw Patrol the Dino movie. Now, but if you go into Paramount Plus, there's a whole bunch of other Paw Patrol movies, and even from the animation style, because you can tell that whenever they make a movie, they up the animation style a bit more. Like they have more time, they have more money. And it's even from the animation style, you can see that these were made for TV movies, and not even made for TV movies. I think that they might just be a couple of episodes that were strung together, like when they went right this week we're gonna have a special Paw Patrol event where they're gonna be on this island and they're gonna be working with sharks and blah 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 blah, and then they take those 5 episodes, put them together, and they call it a movie.
If they do a Paw Patrol shark movie, I am there.
I will have a look on Paramount Plus because I think it might be there. They essentially they have what's the word? They've spread this thing into so many different areas and so many different flavors of Paw Patrol adventure that I would not be surprised. Actually, I would be surprised if there wasn't a shark one. If there wasn't one where they were underwater. So I would really, really be surprised. But yeah, it's so yeah. And there's a couple of celebrities in this, and which just kind of tells you that Paw Patrol's a big thing, and people now have kids, and they want to appear in something that their kids can watch, and so that's all I'll say. But anyway, 3 out of 5 for Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. And let us go up again. Speaking about things with sharks in them, talk to us about Chum.
Right, Chum is a film that seems to take itself seriously.
Oh dear.
Yes. It begins with a man and his wife who are clearly, presumably, on holiday in Malta. Not entirely clear. But she, after some wine, jumps into the ocean, well, Mediterranean, and she gets killed by a great white shark. I will at this point caveat that Malta is in fact in the Strait of Sicily,
a place where sharks don't exist.
No, actually they do. There's in the Strait of Sicily there is, I think it's the Strait of Sicily. There is actually a great white shark nursery, but they are pretty much never seen. There was one sighted a couple of months ago for the first time in years. So they're there. They're in the deep water, well, relatively deep water between North Africa and Sicily. So technically, in Malta, conceptually, there are some distance from the coast going to be great white sharks. There are other sharks too. There are blue sharks and all sorts in the Med. None of them are interested in people, just to be clear. They're just hanging around doing their shark stuff, being sharks.
Enough with your facts that are trying to get in the way of a terrible shark movie.
Well, this man is traumatized, as you can imagine. Moved to different position in time, and a couple are getting married on Malta for reasons. They are American, I believe, presumably for reasons, and that's very nice. But it seems that they have diverged in their views, and whilst they are still getting married, and they still love each other, they have decided in advance that the marriage is not going to work. Something to do with her taking a contract as maybe a lawyer for possibly a fossil fuel company. I didn't care. So off they go, getting married. Isn't it nice? It's all lovely and pretty dresses and stuff. And then the day after their wedding, their friends, as a wedding present, treat them to a boat trip. Isn't it lovely? Everybody goes off on a boat. There's two friends and the bride sister. I have no idea what anybody's called. I've literally no clue. They have names, I assume.
I don't think that's the point of this film.
They all loosely look the same, and so far as I can tell, I mean, generic people. And then a thing happens, and the anchor gets thrown overboard for reasons, and then the boat catches on fire for reasons.
You know,
There's a lot of for reasons, I know.
Well, no, it's not even that. That's not what gets me about this. What gets me about this is like it's your dedication and it's your determination to try and treat these films like the plot matters. I
think what in this one is so truly stupid that it's worth treating it as though it matters, just to go, what? So the boat catches fire. They are rescued by somebody else on a boat who, yay, they're saved. As it happens, the person on the other boat is the man who lost his wife at the start, who proceeds to drug them and then put them in a shark cage to try to catch the shark and kill the shark that killed his late wife. Which is why I felt it was important to provide the context. Because it makes no sense. And
oh my god, it's
trying to be serious.
Okay, hang on, wait, Holly, did you ever see Dangerous Animals?
Yes.
The Australian shark movie.
That is much better than this.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think because obviously that came out a while back with Jai Courtney and got rave reviews, and even for Jai Courtney's Professor that.
Year. I think it was
last year. And this sounds to me like somebody's seen that and gone, okay, cool. Jump on that bandwagon and do something. Although looking at the cast of this, I've just looked it up as you were talking, and I have gotten really sad. I've gotten really sad because the lead actress in this is Alice Eve, and
yes,
it's Alice Eve, and honestly, she's better than this. And the fact that she's in this and she's also a producer of it makes me think that, my God, the film industry is terrible to women. But
truly is. I mean, there's so many questions. Like, why would a person in a shark cage lure the great white shark? Why are you putting somebody in a shark cage without a respirator? I mean, yes, spoilers. I mean, all of the spoilers. I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. It makes no sense.
With the film, in a film called Chum, why aren't you not just using Chum?
Quite. But what becomes even better, and I mean, I won't not even bothering spoiler alerts. Prior to this, he has been kidnapping homeless people and using them as bait for the shark. No? Yep, quite.
Okay, this just makes no sense. It just makes no sense because if he's been doing it over and over again, he's obviously quite bad at catching this shark, because I'm guessing that his harebrained plan has actually been working, and the sharks have been paying attention to these people. Okay. Right, all right.
I mean, the people presumably are dead. Whether or not they're dead courtesy of a shark or dead courtesy of the fact that he's drowned them, unclear. Why the drowning? I don't know. I do not know why. But the shark cage, no oxygen, reasons. Tosin, reasons. Okay.
All right.
Understand. And I hope that somebody listening can explain it to me and make it make sense.
I was going to say that I am right there with you, and I think that anybody listening is also with you in the not understanding what the heck. So, how many stars would you give Chum?
going to be really kind and give it 1.
1. All right.
And I'm
And
being truly generous there. And it's mostly because, I feel for the sharks. Oh, and also at the end, they say that the sharks have come this far north because of global warming. And it's like, no, the sharks are already there. They've not moved anywhere. Bloody hell. It's just, they've always been there. Great white sharks have been there for a really, 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 really long time. They've not moved anywhere. It doesn't happen. Don't be stupid.
I'm like, Alice Eve. Come on, Alice Eve is good. Give her something good to do. Put her in something
Do
good.
better. Do better, Alice Eve. Do not align yourself with something that's only marginally better than a Neil Breen film. I mean, to be fair, it is quite a lot better than a Neil Breen film, but it's not as funny.
I just feel like, yeah, I just feel like Alice Eve should be getting better jobs, but never mind. So
I feel
okay,
almost
so
everyone should get better jobs than that. It's not a good thing.
oh, I don't know. Some people do not deserve to get better jobs. Some people do not.
It is a thing of unusualness.
All right, so that's one for that. So okay, all that's left to say is, who do you think has won this week?
I think it might be the thoroughly mediocre children's film in cinema versus the truly unspeakable shark film at home.
But honestly, I feel like anytime you bring a shark movie, anytime you bring one of those shark movies on Prime Video, you know that you're pretty much holding Netflix and Friends below the waterline.
But sometimes they're really good, and you can give it a good score because it's so bad it's good, and you're like, you know what, there's entertainment factor. It's joyously ridiculous, and yeah, the production values are low, the acting is very poor, but it just somehow brings something to the party because it's mad. But
okay, I see what you mean by good, but
yeah, it's not enjoyable rather than just going, no, it don't make any sense, and not in a Neil Breen. It doesn't make any sense because at least with Neil Breen you do cry with laughter, whereas I just mostly went, oh, so I don't understand.
Okay, but with this, okay, so I have to ask, what was the shark like?
It was a great white shark, and it was reasonable quality because it was actual great white shark footage. So when it interacted with people, it didn't make any sense, but it swam looking like a great white shark.
Okay, cool. So it was...
Yeah, they actually minimised the shots of human-shark interaction, which was wise because when they had them, they were not good.
But if you okay, but it's because one of your problems is always like the shark looks stupid. The shark looks stupid, like with deep water, the shark looks, and I think the phrase for you, terrible CGI sharks, shows up repeatedly.
Yeah. This was predominantly just good interspersed real life footage of a great white shark being shark. And then a little bit of terrible CGI, but not like Jurassic Shark terrible CGI, or Monsternado terrible CGI. So they deserve credit for better CGI than Monsternado. Oh, and better than Neil Breen's weird white tiger fight.
What about Birdpocalypse? Birdpocalypse is still the gold standard of terrible CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even call that CGI. I'm sorry, Birdpocalypse is just bad.
It is just a truly unspeakable film, and and it has a sequel, I believe.
Yeah,
I think it's a Troll 2 type sequel. Maybe.
I think that what happened is that the 5-year-old who they hired to do the special effects in the first film had grown old and needed another project to do, so they let the 7-year-old make the Birdpocalypse too.
That would make sense. Because otherwise, why would you do this? Very, very poor life choices.
All right, cool. Sorry, you were going to say something.
I would just say that I feel that I have grown as a person as a result of having watched Chum. I'm not sure in which direction I've grown, and it may be that I've grown because my brain has slightly trickled out through my ears. But
This is me. This is me hoping that you have learned that this has grown you in such a way to go. Maybe I should leave the shark movies alone for a while. Go watch a Harlan Coben. Go watch something with Nicole Kidman in a nice house.
Oh, yeah, so I will as soon as they're around to watch. We're just waiting on some new ones, and then I will go and watch the latest terrible Harlan Coben, which will be better, but still thoroughly mediocre, and I will enjoy
Okay,
it.
fine. Let me give you something that is only 6 episodes long, and I think that you might like. It's not. It's none of these things. It's going totally left field. Android on BBC iPlayer. Android spelt in ANN, as in the name Anne, then droid. Which is weird because there isn't any robot called Anne in it. It just occurred to me that there isn't a robot called Anne in it. But yeah, it's Diane Morgan, and Sue Johnston. And yeah, it's yeah, I think you might like that. I think you might like that. All right, and now just to get back onto our feedback corner, where people sort of like get back in touch with us and tell us stuff about things that we put up online. So we have a short up on YouTube at the moment, just called The Boys Season 5 and Missed Opportunity. Because last week I watched The Boys Season 5 and I fed back to Sean and I said, this is what I thought about it. And somebody called Rye the Fry Guy has, well, first of all, there's been about 17 people who've liked it because I think there's a lot of similar sentiment out there about The Boys Season 5. And Rye the Fry Guy just said it needed to end sooner or have more episodes to tie up loose ends. And you know what, Rye the Fry Guy? I could not agree with you more. And yes, good. Yep, I could not agree with you more. And I think that's probably about the only thing we've had. If you are listening this far, please do get in touch. Let us know what you think. Leave us a review on anywhere that will let you leave a review. I think Apple is probably about the only one who lets you leave reviews. On Apple, get in touch with us on YouTube, or Netflix via Cinema at all these places. Get in touch with us on Instagram, Netflix via Cinema Pod, on TikTok, and let us know what you think about what it is that we say. Do you think, oh no, maybe Paw Patrol is a masterpiece, or maybe you want to stand up for Chum, and maybe you're related to Alice Eve, and you know what she's been doing, and you know that this isn't just and you know for a fact that this just isn't just Hollywood treating a starlet like how they treat starlets, which is like just not giving them opportunities. Maybe you know the backstory. We would love to hear from you. Please do get in touch with us, and please do get in touch with us and let us know that. But until that, I think that is us done. I think it might be, unless we want to talk more about why Chum is a terrible film. And no, I'm done. No, I'm all chummed out. I am all chummed out. I could tell you about some other things I've been watching, but never mind. I'll wait until it's time for us to review them. But I would say watch Android. Watch Android on BBC iPlayer. But until next week, when hopefully there'll be something in the cinema to watch. It's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.
Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.
Chum is such a stupid film.